So yeah, Kent, that's my video just cut off, but basically I was trying to say that if you're short, if you're not the best looking, just don't go for the super females unless they like you, because it happens that, you know, the average guys, they go with a super beautiful woman. That happens. So if that happens to you, don't blow it away, but if it doesn't, just go for what you can get. Sometimes you get women who are a little bit older, sometimes you have women, you know, who are ugly maybe, sometimes you get women who have difficult situation, whatever, you know, there's gonna be all kinds of like variables, but really don't think that being with a woman it's such a tight competition. I don't like to think about it like that, because as a matter of fact I don't like fucking competition. I really don't. I'm not very competitive person myself, and competition is not my highest strength. And that's one of the good thing about, in some ways, America is a social net, you know, where, you know, you can be not an alpha male and get money. So that's why I'm saying that for me to living in America meantime is a good idea, because then I can pocket my money, at least to try to pocket it by working, focusing on work. And because I don't care about living cheap, I don't care about material things, I can collect money. And if I have money, I have power. And if you have money, you can get pussy. Now, everyone is different, you know. That's my way. Maybe some other people, they have different ways of getting things, because some people, you know, they have different strength. Like some people, for example, can be more active than I am. Some people can apply themselves better than I do. Some people know how to talk to people better than I do, and how to, you know, do things rational. Like for example, in school, I remember, like even in Russia, it's not even, it doesn't matter your nationality, where you're coming from, but I remember like some of my students in the class, they like underlying things and figuring out what's important, and the people were better students, versus me, I was a disorganized one. I always had a good memory, but when it was coming to, you know, figuring out what's important, what's not important, and underlying things, I was not good at that shit. That's why, like in history and literature, because I liked always to talk about philosophical things, and I always had a good memory. But when it's coming, for example, to underlying things and figuring out what's the most important, what's least important, and expressing yourself briefly and concisely, I was never good at that, ever in my life. It's just not for me. Now, and the problem is that in America, actually, why it's another reason why I feel like that America is not quite for me, and I will never reach success in America. Because in America, saying things concisely and briefly is more important, and nobody cares about philosophical talks and shit. So that's why, it's another reason why I don't see myself. I see myself being like a cleaner in America, or like some kind of small worker, whatever. But because of me who I am, I don't see myself being super successful man in America, because with my strengths and weaknesses, I don't think I can, you know, reach that level, because I'm kind of an analytical guy who likes to think about things. I can be complicated, as you all know. So, but you are who you are, you know, like Eminem says, God gave you the shoes that fit you. So it goes to Kent. All I can tell you is that, you know, we all have strengths and weaknesses. All you can do in order to get a woman is just look, okay, here's who I am, this kind of strength, weaknesses I got, and what can I do in order to apply myself the best way possible. And you know, life is not easy because sometimes a lot of people tell me I can do better than I'm doing right now, but I really don't think so, because I see life, and some people say I don't want to, but people don't know. Sometimes, you know. So don't, also, if you can't, don't listen to what people say, because you know what Filka told you, that's just an opinion. This is just an idea which he wants to throw out there. Well, maybe you're short, you're not the best looking, maybe if you dress nicely, you'll be more marketable with women. And you say, no, it's not my thing. Okay, find what's your thing. Find what is you good at, what you like, and you know, maybe you like sports, right? Maybe you'll find a woman, you know, you will tell her look, I know this, I know that, and she'll be like, oh, that's great, you know this much, and she'll become interested in you because of things you know. And it's not gonna be probably an alpha male, but kind of nerdy type of girl who likes, kind of nerdy stuff. Maybe she likes the same kind of stuff as you do, and then you start talking, and the girl who is more laid back, who doesn't care about material things, doesn't care about money, who just nerdy whatever, which is not really my case, because my girl, she's not nerdy, but it doesn't matter, it's not even about me. I shouldn't be talking about myself anyway, but maybe for you can't, nerdy girl, who is just would be the same thing as you do, and you just kind of will click and you just talk about all this shit, and she's like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then nerdy short girl, then maybe she like you, and that's that. There are all kinds of options in this world, how people can get ahead. So, and some people can't, some people don't mean to, but being short is not an excuse, because like I said, there are guys who average height, like Todd, or taller guys, and they ain't not getting none. So really. And then there are short guys who get some. So really, even though people say it's not good, and I don't like that, I wish I would be a little taller, but really, when it comes to real life, I don't think it even matters that much. Shit. Sometimes tall girls like short guys too. It works different ways. All you can do in this life is just find your way, find what works for you. That's it. Later.